Hi everybody, welcome to Daily Deco. It's a brand new week. Not a great deal of change on the Simply Scuba side of things. I think it's very much sort of as it was last week. I haven't seen any groundbreaking sort of new exciting things.
We've got
so we're going to
3D printed wetsuits on there now, and
3D printed
invisible
wetsuits.
dive watches. Dive watches.
Hoseless regulators, and you name it.
Yeah, we've got a dry suit that just switches on like Iron Man. Uses the I want to say it's not midichlorians, but the little nano metal things.
But on midichlorians, we also have a new dive computer. I don't think anything sort of exciting has been released. It's not typically this time of year when new exciting things get released, but it's typically like January, February time. That's when the interesting stuff starts to drop. But yeah, going sort of straight into the news. So the first one...
Sponsored by, don't forget, we're sponsored by Teesprings.
Today's episode of Daily Deco is sponsored by our very own Teespring store, but more about that later. Okay, so the first news story. So this one comes from AquaLung and Aggressor Adventures. So AquaLung, the equipment manufacturer, and Aggressor Adventurers who do, they basically run the Aggressor fleet. So they do lots of liveaboards sort of out in nice, sunny, warm countries. They have basically partnered up for a Christmas sort of promotion, basically. Ooh. Now, as far as I can tell, this only applies to the United Kingdom. So elsewhere, I apologise. Yeah.
I thought it was stateside.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, this is us. Otherwise, why would it be £300?
Because, I don't know. People like using foreign currency.
I genuinely thought that you were confused over United Kingdom in that we don't have a king at the moment, we have a queen.
Yeah, that's a good point. Why are we not United Queendom?
What, the UQ?
Yeah, that's so much better.
How has no one ever noticed this before? Okay, so basically AquaLung are we
saying kingdom? Sorry, carry on.
No, I don't know how it works. I haven't watched the Crown all the way through. So okay, so if you buy £300 worth of AquaLung equipment from a registered sort of authorised AquaLung dealer here in the UK. Then you can basically write to Aggressor, show them a copy of your receipt, and they will give you $300 off of a liveaboard trip. So this is great if you're planning to buy like a BCD or a dive computer anyway, and you're planning on sort of going on a liveaboard next year. Then yeah, you're kind of killing two birds with one stone, and you're getting money off of your trip. There are some caveats, however. The first one is, yes, it has to be sort of based in the United Kingdom, so sorry for all of our sort of foreign listeners. The other one is... Yeah. The other sort of thing is that it only runs for December 2020. So we're already like in the middle of December.
Sorry to interrupt. I've just literally read it here. It goes December 2021.
That's when you have to book your date. I'm talking about when you have to buy the equipment.
I'll run it. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'll leave. Bye.
Go back. So we can edit that out, but we won't. So yeah, you have to buy. Where have you gone? So you have to buy your AquaLung, whatever it is, sort of £300 worth of AquaLung dive equipment by December 31st, 2020. So you only have a few weeks left. And then once you do that, yes, you email your receipts to Aggressor, and then you get a £300 voucher, which is only valid for 2021. So you have to redeem it on a trip next year, which in today's volatile traveling climate might be a little bit dicey. Especially in the UK, because we seem to be becoming in and out of lockdowns every 2 weeks.
We're fine now. We've got a vaccine. I mean, none of us have had it, but it's finished.
Yeah. Who knows what the vaccine is going to bring? Hopefully, it's good things. But But yeah, so basically you have to use this by the end of 2021, and yeah, a year is quite a long time. So so hopefully you will be able to sort of book a trip. But yeah, if you were sort of planning those things, you were planning to get a new BCD or a new dive computer or a new I don't know, wetsuit, you can probably get wetsuits up to sort of £300. Then yeah, you can sort of get money off a liveaboard. So that's always nice. They it's rare when this kind of thing happens, so it's nice to sort of jump on board, because if you do jump on board, then sort of the more likely they're going to do these kind of promotions in the future.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah.
And like you say, 300 quid is quite a staple, isn't it? So it's not like you're buying something that's almost like a serious bit of kit, but it's also not like you have to spend like 1,500 or something. You know what I mean? 300's a nice. You're serious about scuba diving because you're spending 300 quid, but yeah, you're not buying like the most elite product. You know, it's
either. Yeah, it's either a lot of kit like mask fins and snorkels and like a shorty and whatnot, bags and stuff. You can get quite a lot for 300 quid. Or if you're sort of getting into BCDs, then yeah, that's easy. So yeah, and you're getting sort of money off a liveaboard at the same time. So they effectively they don't cancel themselves out because it's £300 for $300. I don't know the current exchange rate, but. Hey, I think it's better than nothing.
I think it's actually quite bad at the moment. Like, I think
for us,
yeah, it's bad for us. Like I think for once the pound is worth. I don't know if it's worth it. I don't know. It doesn't matter because by the time this video goes live anyway, it would have changed.
It'll be different. Yeah, who knows? Something will have happened. Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the future, apparently.
No, it's not. It's toilet paper.
I was listening to a thing. Well, no, it can't because it's not tangible. There's nothing physical about Bitcoin. I was listening to an entire news article about Bitcoin and how the rates have changed. I understood none of it. I was walking the dogs and I was listening to this news article, and I was just. I understand the individual words that you're saying, but not in that specific order. I kind of understand the concept of Bitcoin, but I've never come across a place where I could actually use it. So I don't know why I'd invest in it.
No.
I don't know. Maybe SimplyScuba will be the first dive centre to use Bitcoin.
That's like friggin' deep web stuff anyway, so that'd be a bit dicey.
I don't know. Is it?
I know literally nothing about this.
And there's like a million different ones. There's one like Dogecoin, and it's literally as soon as you create this concept of a currency, then it automatically has value, and then the more demand it has, the value actually goes up. So
Facebook have got their own. PayPal have got their own, I think, or they're starting to.
Yeah, why not?
PayPal currency.
The thing is that always got me during the. It was a few months ago, or even before COVID, when however long ago that was.
1993.
And everyone was super excited because the value of Bitcoin just rocketed. So they're like, oh my God, my Bitcoin is worth so much. And you're like, great. No one's going to buy it from you at that price because they're aware that it's worth so much. So they're going to get so little. I don't get it. Anyway.
It's like, cool, I've got this money. What can I spend it on? Oh, nothing, unless I want to buy some like dodgy stuff.
Yeah. Who knows? But back to the underwater news. So the Mississippi Aquarium have launched a new underwater experience that they call SeaTREK. So quite a few aquariums are starting to do this and actually getting sort of tourists, I guess you'd call them, into their sort of aquarium tanks to swim with the fishes in a good way. I saw it at Sydney Aquarium. Only they were on like proper scuba, so I presume that maybe it's for people who are qualified, or at least it classifies as like a Discover Scuba or something. But at Mississippi Aquarium, they use those like space helmet things, and I think they're surface fed as well. So you kind of, it's more like an old hard hat sort of thing. You're in a you're in a wetsuit and all that. You've got this like helmet and like shoulder pauldron type helmet, and gas is constantly being sort of fed down to you, and then you literally walk around the tank instead of like neutrally buoyant. But yeah, it is quite cool, and it's nice so that people will get sort of more like a realistic taste of sort of scuba diving, but it's a bit more accessible. So it's less, right, here's your BCD and your tank and your fins, and this is how you control your neutral buoyancy, and we've got to do these skills and all that kind of stuff. This is a bit easier just to ease people into it so that they can sort of literally come off the street. They do this and they go, oh wow, that was amazing, and then they'll probably be tempted to move on to like more traditional open circuit scuba. So yeah, hopefully these kind of things sort of take off.
Do you want to know what the long haul with that is?
What's that?
So they're going to get people in these things. It's going to become popular, which is awesome, which is what we want. And it's like, here's a new experience. Why don't you feed the fish? It's like, okay, cool, I'll do that. Here's another experience. Do you want to help clean the tank? Basically, they just want to get rid of their staff. So you pay so you pay them to do a job rather than them paying staff members.
Well, I did have that when after I left university and I was looking for work. I was applying for sort of jobs and just sending my CV out, and I sent my CV to a zoo. I'm not going to say which, and they basically replied saying, "Oh yeah, that's great. We'll keep your CV on file." The usual spiel. But then there was like another paragraph on like sort of other. Sort of establishments where they basically said, or you could sort of join our volunteer program. Our volunteer program costs like so much, so you would have to pay the zoo to work for them, and that's genius. It's ambitious. I don't know if anybody goes for it.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure there's some people who go, I can work in this. Wicked.
Yeah, but I mean, you're not going to be interacting with the animals. It's not going to be as amazing as like feeding tigers on a stick and that stuff. You're just going to be sweeping a lot. But yeah, that did make me sort of giggle. Yeah, I just yeah, or just sort of hand out ice creams to snot-nosed children. You're like, oh, lovely.
Nice.
But no, this
privilege.
Yes. The one thing that I do kind of want to know is what the kind of snork thing on the top of the helmet is. So you have this sort of, it's not a glass dome, because if it was round, then you wouldn't be able to see properly. So so they have this like flat window in the front.
That is a transmitter to here.
Yeah, I think they've got some kind of radio sort of in it.
It's either that or they've got the old, is it Tinky Winky, the Teletubby? It's just his old helmets, and they've just like took his face off, put a glass panel there, and sprayed it white.
I reckon it's Tinky Winky's skeleton. They just scraped off all the meat after
you heard
they
it here
died.
first, guys. Breaking news: Mississippi Aquarium uses the skull of Tinky Winky.
And it's probably for protection, so that no one bumps their head on anything. But yeah, that was my first instinct, that it's some kind of light receiver. But
or when they go in the shark tank, if the person's being annoying, they switch it on and it attracts the sharks.
It just opens up and there's just like a bit of chum.
No!
Oh dear. Anyway.
That's what you get for banging on the glass.
Today's episode of Daily Deco is sponsored by our very own Teespring store. So if you didn't know,
if you didn't
could you know, not? We have our very own Teespring store. Teesprings basically create merchandise for all sorts of different people, but we use them as well, basically because they have a make-to-order system. So they don't hold like boxes and boxes of stock. So all it is, it's a digital concept. So if you like one of our designs, then you pick and choose the size and the color and the style of the t-shirt or the hoodie or the socks or whatever it is, and then as soon as you place your order, they literally print it for you custom and then mail it directly to you, so it's a bit more eco-friendly that way. At the moment, we are offering you 15% off of your offer. So sort of head down to sort of Teesprings, have a look around. If there's anything that you like, then sort of add it to your basket, and then at the checkout stage, add the discount code Daily Deco, all one word, and that will get you 15% off your order. But that offer code is only running up until December 31st, so you only have a few weeks left. Yeah, that's it.
No, what you got to say is you got to make sure that your basket is filled to the brim. It's bursting.
Filled to the brim like Santa Claus's sack. He has so many gifts, so many Simply Scuba merchandise items in his bag. Yeah, just like that.
Yeah, we are delivering a lot to the North Pole.
Yeah, that is unusual for us.
I think he's taken up the £50 free delivery thing from Teesprings.
Yeah, that's true. It just works out that the more you order, the more cost effective it is because you're not paying shipping.
Exactly.
Again, we're not entirely sure sort of who that deal applies to. We believe it's only sort of United States residents, but
yeah, it's true.
Who knows?
No, like it's probably not. It's like some remote island in Thailand that has like 3 people on it.
Who don't have internet.
Yeah. Oh, this is a great offer.
Okay, so moving on with the news. So the next news story is basically, so if you haven't heard, a lot of these Pacific right whales, they're right whales, they keep getting sort of caught up in fishing gear, active fishing gear, and ghost gear as well. So so fishermen have been sort of experimenting with ropeless sort of fishing nets. So basically, how on the nets, what they basically have is, this is more for like lobster pots, and sort of they have a small sort of cage that lives on the bottom of the ocean. Crabs and lobsters and stuff, they sort of crawl inside, and then on the top of that will be a rope that goes up to the surface of the water. There's a buoy attached onto that rope, and then the fishermen, so like every day or so, they go to these buoys, they pull up the nets, they empty them, and then put them back down. Unfortunately, because you have a single strand of rope sort of literally vertical in the water column, whales, they end up bumping into them, they get tangled, and then it ends up killing them. So fishermen have been trying to work out a ropeless or a more sort of whale-friendly way of doing this, and they've been experimenting with a ropeless sort of crab pot, and they seem to have found one that kind of works. What it is instead of using that rope with a buoy on the surface, they basically throw the lobster pot in. That sinks down to the bottom and just kind of waits there until it hears an acoustic prompt. So basically what the fishermen would do is they would sort of sail along to their patch where they've dropped their lobster pots, and then they'd press play on a button. There'd be an underwater like transmitter which would send out a acoustic sort of sound on a certain frequency. The lobster pot would hear this and then go, oh, okay. And then I don't believe it actually said, but I believe it will inflate some kind of float, I imagine. And then the pot sort of floats up to the surface. They scoop it off the surface, and that's it. Then they can sort of reuse it. Now, obviously, it's a bit more sort of investment because it's more technology and all this kind of stuff, but actually quite a lot of fishermen have reportedly sort of invested their own money into sort of buying these devices, so they're obviously keen to invest in this like new modern technology. So yeah, I mean, they say that this isn't going to be, or this might not be the the cure to sort of end all sort of whale entanglements, but they're saying that it's definitely a benefit over having all of this kind of loose sort of gear in the water. So
it's a step, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a step in the right direction. You've got to do this sort of thing in order for something else to be tweaked, or then it to be modified to go to something bigger. What I want to know is what the transmission sounds like. So they put the transmission, I'm guessing there's like some sort of speakers or something on the base of the boat. I reckon when they press the button, it's Here, natty natties.
Here, boy.
Or like a can of Dreamies.
Yeah. Piss.
That is good, though.
So the first thing that came to my mind is obviously sort of underwater acoustics. They screw up whales anyway, so why would we sort of be using those? And the article basically explains that in particular the system relies on cellular networks for locating the underwater traps, and the signals are not that strong out on. I presume that's out of the fishing ground. So apparently the signals they're not like sort of like military sonar, which really screws up whales. Yeah. It's a pretty sort of low level frequency, which
Bluetooth works underwater, doesn't it?
I don't know, to be honest. I've never tried it. I know my phone. My buddy got a phone call at 5 meters once. He left his phone in his dry suit.
Depending on the depth and stuff, if you could just have an app where you go over it, it bing, 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 bing connects, and you just go, rise, my pretties.
I think a lot of it is the as soon as it goes from water to air, there's a lot of loss of signal in that section there. So I imagine the fisherman would have to dunk his phone in the water to hit the button.
I don't mind if he does that.
Yeah.
I've got a new iPhone. I didn't put the case on. Oh no.
Womp. Sorry, it's insured.
What about like if they put too much air in? That'd be quite funny.
These poor,
oh no!
Yeah, these poor crabs and lobsters in orbit. Who knows?
That is cool though. But yeah, this is the right step to. Yeah, it's perfect.
Yeah. And it's another thing that kind of proves that fishermen don't want to sort of use like fishing gear that has accidental bycatch. It's not as if they're horrible people that just want to catch everything in the ocean. They're only trying to do their job, exactly. But they don't really have the tools required to avoid it. So as soon as something does come up like this, they said that at the moment 50% of sort of fishermen in the area have already invested in it. So
that's good.
Yeah, they're obviously keen to upgrade. And whilst we're talking about sort of getting things from the bottom of the ocean, this was a group of German divers who were searching the Baltic Sea for ghost gear. They were doing their thing. They were surveying the area, looking for ghost gear, and they basically stumbled across an enigma cipher machine. As you do. I think the most I've ever found just like swimming around is a discarded weight pouch that someone's dropped or whatever, and I was like, oh okay, yeah, I sort of lifted that. But no, they came across an enigma machine. Now they believe. I don't think they've sort of really gone down into like serial numbers or anything because the thing's pretty beaten up. It's only got about 6 keys that are still legible on it. But yeah, it's an enigma machine. They believe that it was discarded from a submarine that was sort of about to be either overtaken or scuppered or whatever it was. It's from a German U-boat, they believe, and they think they just like threw it in the water so that the Allied forces couldn't get it, and so they just stumbled across it. They kind of realised what it was. They're now in the process of kind of lifting it and restoring it so that it can be put in a museum. Where did it say? The archaeology museum in Schleswig. Schleswig.
Yeah, that'll do.
Schleswig.
Schleswig. Or if it was me, Schleswig.
Schleswig.
It's probably Schleswig.
But no, this is just cool. I love it when they find sort of stuff like this. There was a post by I can't remember who it was. I think it was. I can't remember. But yeah, yesterday they uploaded a picture of 2 sort of diving helmets on the. Again, I can't remember the name of the reef. This was like last night, and I was just like. But they uploaded the sort of vintage blueprints layout of the shipwreck, and they're basically, to be able to find and photograph these two sort of diving helmets that are aboard this shipwreck, you need like intimate knowledge of the schematics of the ship and sort of where you were. Download this PDF and see if you can sort of find where they are, because it's like an old aircraft carrier, so it's got like decks upon decks upon decks, and it's all these tiny little rooms. And last night I was kind of going through this sort of PDF trying to find the sort of the dive locker, and it got to the point I was like 3 pages in. I was like, oh no, sleepy go bye time. But no, I love all these kind of things, so like finding sort of old technology, and these guys just stumbled across it basically, and now they're sort of trying to sort of get it back to its not full sort of glory, but restoring it as much as they can, and then it will go on display in a museum, which is very cool.
Do you want to hear my thoughts about how it got into the ocean? So you say that it could be scuppered, or you know they had to get rid of the machine beforehand. What it was they were above the surface, and a guy was typing a saucy love letter to his missus, and then the general came up. Yeah, and then the general came up. Was like, oh no.
They're all encrypted anyway.
Yeah. Have you seen the enigma? Yeah, but you know what I mean. Saucy little love letter to his missus. Oh no!
I'm not quite sure that's how enigma worked.
Dave, because that's a very traditional German name. Oh, Dave, have you seen the enigma machine? No, I haven't, sir.
No.
Okay.
Just like slowly like sinking on the surface. Like, sink.
Don't look over there. Look directly in my eyes, sir.
Yeah.
That's what happened.
Oh,
you're welcome.
All right.
Saucy enigma les. That could be an interesting story, should we say?
that's going to be written on the little note card in the in the museum next to it. Yes. Dave talking to his like Fraulein on the side.
Yeah. Whatever saucy words they said back in the olden days.
No, mine are.
Oh, I can't wait to see your pantaloons. I don't know. Ladies' garments. Whatever.
Anyway, on that note, that's it for today. And if you have any questions, comments, queries, corrections, let us know down in the comments below.
About what was
speculations
on the Enigma machine.
One thing that I love is, I don't know if you saw it, but I saw it yesterday, is that a lot of people have been messaging recipes for brandy butter and where to get brandy butter.
I've never normally we go, except these, I'll put a link to something, your favourite dive store or whatever. Don't get that many. As soon as I go, any brand is like, this is the recipe. This is where you buy it. And I'm like, I'm spending my time approving these links to brandy butter.
Well, it was quite late last night, and I can't remember what I was doing, but I got a ping on my phone that said that sort of someone had sent us a picture. I think it was on Instagram. And it's rare that I actually click on them sort of outside of work, but I was like, oh yeah, let's see what's going on. And someone's like, tell Mark, and she'd gone to like Tesco's and she'd found like an entire shelf full of brandy butter. She took a photo of it and sent it to us.
I love our community here. It is brilliant. It is brilliant.
Unfortunately, now I have to try and come up with a brandy butter themed scuba diving t-shirt or mug.
You do.
And I need some kind of...
I think we should, or you should film throughout the holiday period for maybe January the 1st. Right. You should film you making your own brandy butter.
Probably.
No.
I do like to cook.
Then you should do it, and then you should release it on this channel, but make it nautical themed. What do you think, guys? Shall Mark, what do you think? Mark should make his own brandy butter video to go live on the Simply Scuba channel and make it nautical themed. Do you know what?
Only Only using my octopus cocktail shaker.
Yeah. I'm gonna put a vote in. Head over to the community tab. There'll be a vote right there.
How many Google accounts do I have? All right, I'll buy some brandy and some butter.
You've already got those two things.
No, I have lots of rum and gin, but I don't think I have any brandy.
Go wait to the vote, mate. People might not be interested, but I think there will be from the response that we got.
Of course they will.
They're going to want a nautical themed brandy butter recipe made by you. So it's got to be sea sugar.
And for everybody, sea sugar.
Yeah. It's got to be blue.
Yeah, I can colour tone it.
Or green, because you're English. Greeny brown. Ugh, you wouldn't want to eat that.
What?
Yeah, the sea's not. It's greeny brown over here. It's not nice and blue.
Oh, okay. I got that. I thought you meant for some flag or something.
No. And the brandy has to be like a navy brandy, because they'll have navy brandy. It's got everything's got to be nautical themed if you can.
All right.
I mean, I don't mind how much you spend because I'm not paying for it.
Yeah, clearly. I'm just thinking about the poor people that follow us that don't watch Daily Deco.
Everyone watches Daily Deco.
They're just going to watch this poll about, should Mark make brandy butter and go,
a nautical themed. I'm going to put that in there. Should Mark make a YouTube recipe video, nautical themed brandy butter? Yes or
I'll just put a little ship on it.
That's going to be the options. 2 yeses.
All right.
Anyway, guys, let's end it there.
Yes, yeah, because you've got to edit and render this.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Yeah, finish. Bye.
As ever, let us know any questions, comments, queries, sort of down in the comments below. If you've sort of seen anything interesting or you're aware of any interesting underwater news stories, let us know down in the comments below. Thank you for watching and, of course, safe diving.
Stay classy, scuba divers. Look out for the community tab. That's where the poll's going to be. It would have gone live by now. You're welcome, guys.